So what can we do as members of our community and as voters, registered voters? What can we do to help this, sir?
I think the most important thing to do is get educated on the issue and really understand what the issues are. I think there's too many emotions flying around, and we're listening to the very conservative ones who are saying, like our governor, I believe, said we got to deport everybody. The most ultimate conservative people are saying we got to deport them all, and then they'll have to just come back legally when they can. We have other people saying, no, grant them all citizenship and give them forgiveness. Other people saying, yeah, we can do that, but not until we close the border. What can we do about it now to take some of the immediate crises out of our community that are occurring and building every day, that's costing us so much in the way of taxes and economic losses and psychological and emotional losses in our community? I think that one of the most important things we can do is, number one, help organize educational opportunities. PTAs, seminars, political gatherings, to educate the general public out there about the issues as they really are in a very objective, scientifically correct fashion. We can communicate those voices to Congress. The other thing that we're doing, with the encouragement of lots of different organizations, not just Hispanic organizations, but Anglo organizations, associations, and others that we'll identify at a later date, is forming a political action committee. We're calling it U.S. Kids PAC, to have the children of undocumented immigrants, we think there's about 6 million of them altogether, have them organized so that they have a voice in Congress and with the public, that someone will listen to them about what's happening to them directly as children. Many of those children can vote. Many of them are under 18, but getting them organized together with the consent of their parents so that they'll have a voice to explain to the public what's going on. And focusing in those areas where the congressmen are most fearful. And many of the districts of congressmen who don't have many immigrants are really unaware of what's happening with immigration issues because their constituents aren't worried about it. But nevertheless, they need to vote on federal legislation. And so going to those areas of the country and talking to those voters in those districts, those congressmen, explaining what the situation is nationally, I think will be very helpful to get those congressmen thinking about it and saying, oh, we need to do something about this, even though it doesn't really affect my district. So that they can justify voting in favor of some kind of immigration reform or supporting the administration and doing policy changes, which we've also proposed, without fear that their voters are going to vote them out of office because they did something that favors immigrants, undocumented immigrants. They can do that with full justification and understanding, and rightfully so, that the suffering being caused in families and with these these children who are losing parents can be eliminated for the time being, at least on a temporary basis, with a simple piece of legislation authorizing at least temporary work permits and status for parents of those children. I think that'll be a very powerful way to communicate with Congress to get this logjam broken up. So perhaps this next July we could get some initial legislation through that will start taking some of the crisis out of the problem.